boys and girls. Today we are going to be making Play-Doh because Play-Doh is so fun to make and it's something pretty easy to do and that you can do at home. Now it's cool when I make it, I always use my electric skillet. So today though we're going to be making it in the pan and then cooking it on the stove. And I have my little helpers here. And for today's recipe, you're going to need 2 cups of flour, 3/4 cups of salt, 2 tablespoons of cream of tartar, some food coloring, 2 cups of water, and 2 tablespoons of oil. And it can be any type of oil. The first thing I'm going to need is to add 2 cups of flour. So, Bella, will you scoop in 2 cups of the flour? Yes, ma'am. Hold on. Let's just flatten that out so we get the right amount. There you go. Okay. Ooh, how many cups did we put in so far, boys and girls? 1. You're right. So far we did 1 cup. We need 1 more. So 1 and 1 is going to make 1, 2. That's how many cups of flour we need. Let's scoop it a little more, sweetheart. Yeah. There you go. Okay. Help me count it. 2. 2. All right. We did our 2 cups of flour. No, don't lick it. When we do cooking, do we lick our fingers, friends? No. We washed before we started and we don't lick our fingers because we don't want to spread germs. Okay, next we need 3/4 cup of salt. And so I have my salt in this little container. Yours might come in a canister, which is kind of like a tube that looks like that, about that tall. And Jax gets to help me with this one. Oh, and we need 3/4 cups. So today we're going to do some math because I don't have a 3/4 cup measuring, but I have 1/4 cup. So if I do 3 of these, that will be the right number. So Jax, can you go ahead? I'll help you get started because it's pretty full. There you go. Okay, you're going to help me count to 3. Ready, friends? 1. Scoop it down a little. Hold on. Let me show you. Sometimes kids have trouble scooping, and so you can just demonstrate. So I'm going to show them because it's a narrow opening. So I'm going to show them if I take my cup and I put it face down first, and then I twist my wrist, and then I lift it, it'll be full. So now you try. Okay. And moms and dads, allow your kids to help and practice and learn for themselves too. Oh, look at that. You got it. Okay, friends, help me count the next one.
1,
2. How many more do we need to get to 3?
1.
You're right. We need 1 more.
Right?
Hit 1. I like how you remembered how to scoop. Good. 3. Okay. We have all of our salt, so we can put that one down. And now we need 2 tablespoons of cream of tartar. So, Juliana, do you want to use that spoon?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Now, since she's pretty little and this opening again is pretty narrow, here, I'm going to come. No, we'll just lean across. Jax, can you trade me places for a minute? Thanks. So I'm going to, okay, hold your spoon this way. And I'm going to help her by just pouring it in for her so she doesn't have to quite scoop it out. There you go. Okay. Help me count. We need 2.
1.
Drop it all the way out. 1. How many more do we need?
1.
You're right. You're really paying attention. We need 1 more.
1 more.
Okay. There we go. And 2. Perfect. And now, with Play-Doh, you'll notice I'm not flattening the top. It really pretty much works out, even if it's a little over or a little under when you do the measurements. I've made this Play-Doh recipe since I was a little girl. I made it with my mom. Then I made it with 24 years of preschool classes. So you really can't mess it up too much at this stage. Okay, the next thing we are going to need is some water. Bella, will you go ahead and pour it in? We need 2 cups, and I've already measured it out. Oh, I like how you're pouring it nice and slow, and she's being very careful. Awesome job. Are you going to help pour the water for your mom and dad too?
Me.
You are? Oh, great. Okay.
2.
And now, the next thing we need is 2 tablespoons of oil. So,
Jax is
all right. I'm going to let Jax do this one. Hold it steady.
You can eat.
There you go. 1. How many more do I need? We need one more to make 2. Okay. And 2. Perfect.
You can eat Play-Doh.
You're right. Bella asked or said you can eat Play-Doh. And you know what? She's right. Everything that we're putting in the Play-Doh today is edible. So if your child eats it, it's not the end of the world because it is edible. However, if they've been playing with it for a long time, it can be germy. So I always have my kids wash their hands before we play with Play-Doh. That way it doesn't get too contaminated. Okay, now this is the fun part. We have to decide what color to make our Play-Doh. And I've pulled out all the colors. This is just food coloring. So this is the tricky part. If you have more than one kid, we have to learn to compromise and negotiate. So let's start with Julie. What color do you think we should do?
Different.
What color is that?
Pink.
Pink. So Julie thinks we should do pink. Okay. Jackson, what color do you think we should do?
Light blue.
You think light blue. Okay, so we have 2 different guesses or votes so far. What color do you think we should do?
Pink.
Pink. Wow. Now, if this were our class, we do votes. And whichever color gets the most votes, that's the color we choose. So, but now in this case, since we're at home and it's kind of outvoted, I think there's another way we could do it. So if you can do the voting method if you're at home, or since we had 2 guesses,
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
you could do rock, paper, scissors, shoot, or we could mix. I think that even might be more fun
Okay.
because let's see what happens if we put a little pink and a little blue in, okay? So here we go. Oh, do you have a guess? Jackson just had a guess. Do you guys have a guess?
Purple.
Purple. Is that what your guess was too? Let's see if you guys are all right. Okay, I'm squeezing some pink in. It does kind of look black. You're right. We'll see if it stays black or if it changes. There's some blue. And I'm just squeezing in a bunch of colors. This is also, again, you can have your kids do it, or you can do it. And it does get messy, but it will come off eventually. And you can see we do a lot of craft projects at my house, so my wooden spoon is already dyed because this is not the first time we've done messy things here. Okay. Ooh, boys and girls, check it out. What color is it looking like so far?
Blue.
It's looking blue. Yeah, can you see that? So did we add enough pink, do you think?
No.
No. Should we add a few drops more?
Yeah. Yes.
Because so far, Jackson's color is totally winning. Okay, let's see. So we're going to just...
Use the penguin as a wheel.
Oh, that must be it. Bella is making a guess. She is making a guess that the pink does not have very much in it, and she might be right. Let's see. Okay, I'm mixing it up.
It's time.
Stir, stir, stir it up. Stir it up till it's all mixed. Stir it up and have some fun. Stir it up until it's done. Okay, we're stirring it up, and we want to stir it until there are no more flour lumps.
I see a little bit of pink.
Oh, did you see some pink there? Oh, cool. Okay, so now I'm going to let the kids help stir, and at home you guys can do it too. What we do in class is we do 1, 2, 3, pass. So can you guys help me count?
I see pink.
Okay, mix it up. 1, 2, 3, pass. Okay. Thank you. Okay, now we'll pass it to Jax. 1, 2, 3, pass. Okay, your turn. 1, 2, 3, pass. And pass it back to Mom. Okay, now it looks like it's pretty well mixed. So the next thing we have to do is cook it at the stove. So come on over and follow me to the stove. Okay, so now I'm going to cook it over medium heat, and I'm just going to keep stirring, and you'll notice it's going to change from this kind of liquidy consistency until it turns more into a big blob of Play-Doh. Stir. You like the stir song?
Yeah.
Oh, we can sing it together again. Stir, 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 stir. Stir the liquid in the pot. Stir it up till it's hot. Stir, 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 stir. So this usually takes anywhere from like 1 to 3 or 4 minutes, I would say. And again, I haven't made Play-Doh on the actual stovetop in years. I usually make it in my electric skillet at work, so it's going to be a little bit different.
And it's going to be fun. Have an electric skillet, you should do it with
All right, and now if you notice, you can kind of see it's thickening up at the bottom and it's starting to cook. So as I flip it over, you'll start to see bigger chunks of kind of cooked dough. So we should have it pretty soon. And this part, I recommend the parents do it just so that the kids aren't by the hot fire. I hope you guys make it. I can't wait to hear what colors you make. Let's see. Okay, it's really starting to cook now. And you'll see it's harder and harder. The longer it cooks, the thicker it gets and the harder it is to stir.
It hard for you, Mom, to stir?
It's not too hard.
Can I see it on the spoon?
See how it's getting thick?
Oh, that's getting
Yeah.
thick. Oh, yeah. And it stirring.
Okay. Oh, we're getting closer. Another option, if you don't want to add the food coloring in before you cook it, you can make it white and then divide your Play-Doh up into little balls and add the food coloring afterwards. It's just messier on your hands, but if you have a child that wants more than one color and you want to make like a rainbow of colors, that's another fun option too. And then they can learn about color mixing, what happens when they add the tint to white. Okay, and it looks like we're almost there. I would guess another maybe 30 seconds.
I know it's looking hot, Mama. It looks hard.
It kind of is.
Mom, can I see?
Yeah.
Can I see it on the spoon? Oh my god.
So the temperature, I've got it on medium heat, and you don't want to cook it too high because if it gets too dried out, if it gets too hot, it will dry it out, and that's not as fun to play with. It's more fun when it's just the right texture and temperature. Okay.
Have you ever made dried out?
Oh, I've made dried out Play-Doh a lot of times. If yours does turn out too dry, you can always just add a little bit more oil as you're playing with it. You just put a couple drops in your hand and then mix it in. And if you have essential oils, you can also add some of that to it to make it smell good. That's another fun way to adapt your Play-Doh. Now, we're almost there. Whew. And hopefully, I don't know if you're following along at home, if it's taking you as long as it's taking me or if it's taking you a shorter amount of time. That once you're done playing with it, you can either just play with it by itself, or you can get cookie cutters or rolling pins, or you can get plastic knives. We're going to roll them into snakes and little tubes and then practice cutting, our cutting skills today with the Play-Doh. Okay, and now you can see it's kind of formed into a big ball. And at the very final stage, it is pretty hard to stir. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. Okay, now that our Play-Doh is cooked, I've moved it back over to our other counter where we can play with it. And I'm going to carefully just dump it out onto, watch out, Belle, dump it out onto the counter. And I'm going to scrape as much of it as I can out of here. And dump it out. And you can see I've just put some utensils because I know at home you might not have cookie cutters or other things. So even if you just have simple kitchen tools, this can be fun. So I'm going to show you. Okay. Yes. So it's going to come out a little bit warm. So you're going to want to touch it first to make sure that it's okay. And then I'm just going to separate it out. Okay, careful. It's going to be very warm. So just touch with one finger first to see if it's too hot for you. I think you'll be fine.
Nope, it's fine.
Okay.
It's so good.
Here, let's move that all the way out of your way. There's some for you. And I always recommend when you first make the Play-Doh, it's a good idea to knead it all in first before you add accessories. So just kind of work with it, squish it, play with it.
Cool.
It's kind of, what does it feel like?
Warm.
It's warm. Let's think of other words we could describe it.
I can eat this. I got the
Don't
white
eat it.
part.
Oh, that means you need to mix it in. We could say it's warm, it's squishy,
Oh yeah.
it's soft. Juliana, what does it feel like to you?
It's hot a little bit. It's so hot.
It's hot, yeah. Okay, so before we use our utensils, I'm going to show you a quick way. Let's see if you guys can copy me. Ready? So if you have some Play-Doh, kind of just use your hands and you're going to do this. Copy me, copy me, copy me, copy me, copy, copy me, copy, copy me, copy me. And there we go. Okay. Thanks for making Play-Doh with me today, and thanks for watching. Have fun making your own Play-Doh.